Hello. Welcome. How can I help you today? Oh, I see. That's wonderful. So you're planning a couple of trips with your partner as sort of a honeymoon escape. Well, firstly, congratulations. I'm so happy to hear of your good news. So, how in the best way could I help you today? Do you already have some ideas about locations that you'd like to visit? And you just need some assistance with hotel bookings, flight bookings, maybe some sightseeing advice, or do you sort of have no idea where you're wanting to go and you just want to have a little bit of a chat about some ideas? Okay, so you sort of have a good healthy idea of where you'd like to go. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to open up a file with you here now. Could I just get your first and last name, please, so that I can open this file for you? Wonderful. Okay, so if you could just give me an idea of where it is that you're wanting to go. Okay, so from what I can see then you're trying to do a little bit of a European city tour. Okay, so we have London, Paris, Berlin and Rome. London, Paris, Berlin, Rome. Have you considered Barcelona at all? Well, just based on your preferences right now, I can see a beautiful thorough trip if you were to go to Barcelona as well. Okay, we can leave it sort of on the back burner for now. Obviously, if you're going to Europe, you have a lot of lovely wiggle room, purely because obviously these countries are relatively close together, so your travel options are quite varied. Are you interested in travelling through a flight? Are you thinking about getting a car or your own car, rental car, to drive to each destination, or are you thinking about using public transport, trains, buses, coaches? Flights, okay. And how long are you anticipating that your trip will be? Okay, so you're wanting it to be a 3-week trip. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 locations. Based on that, I would suggest a 4 to 5 day stay per location. So if it were to be 4 days, that would leave you with an additional 5 days to locate. Of course, including your travel days as well, which we can accommodate a little bit. So wherever you would go first, wherever you would travel last, you'd allow an extra day for travel so that you have the same quality experience per location. Okay, so is it just you and your partner going? Just have to make sure, just in case, of travel plans. And is there anything specific in each location that you are specifically wanting to go and see, to experience? Okay, So definitely a West End show. Anything else? Yeah, let's start with London first. Okay, London Eye. Madame Tussauds. You're not sure, just general sort of touristy things. Okay, so possibly Buckingham Palace, walking down the Mall, Covent Garden. Okay, wonderful. So we can build an itinerary based on that. Do you have any particular hotel locations you're considering, or is that sort of up in the air at the moment? Okay, no problem. So we'll discuss budget in a moment. Let's move on to Paris. Is there anything specific in Paris that you are interested in doing? Louvre. Eiffel Tower. Champs-Élysées. Okay, so again, very traditional touristy. Is it the same with each location? Sort of the top tourist locations, that's sort of what you're wanting to sort of see? Okay, that's fine. I can enter those for all them, so if you're trying to rack your brain about each location's tourist attractions, I can get a full itemised list for you, and then we can build up an itinerary from there. Okay. Right, so we've got all of our basic tourist locations, and you also wanted to see a West End production in London. Are there any specific things like a West End production that you are looking to book during your stay in each location? Okay. So you're considering Disneyland Paris. Okay. We actually are one of partners with Disney, so we can offer you with trips to Disneyland Paris if you were to book 2 days rather than one, with a 1-night stay to park ticket. We do get a 33% discount if you book directly through us as well, so that is definitely something to consider. With that, I would then suggest that you elongate your trip, particularly to Paris, to 6 days rather than 5 or 4. That way you could have the 2 full days at Disney and then have 4 days to explore the city itself. Sound good? Okay, I'll just make a note of that then. So we've got all of that information down. Now let's quickly discuss budgets and price points for the 3-week trip. What is your current budget? Okay, so on terms of actual stays and attractions, you're willing to pay 7,000. Okay, and does that budget include your dining or any sort of souvenirs whilst you're there? No, so that is the price that you're wanting to pay for hotels, travel and attractions. Okay, so 7,000 for hotels, travel, attractions. what I'm going to do is I'll just go into the back for about 5 minutes or so, and feel free to help yourself to any hot drinks that we have over there. They are complimentary. I'll have a little bit of a discussion with the other agents here to see if they have any discounts running themselves at the moment, if they have any suggestions. And what we'll do is I'll build a very simple itinerary plan for yourselves, giving you a bit of an indication about travel price points and particular hotels that you may want to stay at. Alright? Okay. So I'll just take my iPad with me here and I'll be back in a few moments to show you. Okay, no problem. Okay, so I have lots of different suggestions for you today. If you'd just like to refer to the screen here and I can go through all of these with you. Okay? Okay, wonderful. So I thought that we could simply begin with some hotel recommendations. I know that you're wanting to stay in a central location, which would be the most beneficial in terms of you doing the most sightseeing. So, for our London location, I'd like to suggest the Piccadilly London West End. The reason being for a West End location is you're wanting to see a West End production. Choosing a West End hotel is the most sensible option, because during the day, if you're wanting to go and see sightseeing, you can walk and also use the underground, whereas when you go to see a production, it's more than likely that the underground will be closed by the time the production finishes. This gives you the safest and most close option by staying close to those hotels. So here we have the Premier Twin Room, just so you can get a little bit of a feel of the hotel. Beautifully modern 5-star hotel with all the amenities that you could possibly need. Breakfast is not included, but that's something we can sort of arrange closer to the time. They do have more deluxe rooms and packages available if you are interested. But I did a basic price point for 4 nights. I did a basic price point for 4 nights, which would come to around £961 for the 4 nights. This would be the most expensive hotel of this stay, but the reason being is it is so central to that ideal West End location. So just let me know what you think. Then for the recommendation for Paris, I have Le Clef. This again is a modern 5-star hotel, sort of similar in the styling to the previous hotel. I thought it would be nice to have a theme, but we do have, as you can see, beautiful balcony space, and this is only 1,000 yards from the Eiffel Tower itself, so you're definitely getting a good location. I did this for 2 nights in particular, as I think that it may be beneficial for you to stay just for 2 nights in Paris itself and then move on to Disneyland. You can get the train direct from the central Paris location all the way to the train station right outside of Disney, and then stay in one of the Disney specific properties. So this comes to £579 for the 2 nights. Disney we can talk about in a little more detail at a further date. What I would always recommend though is that you stay in one of the central hotels around the lake. We have the Disneyland Hotel itself, which bridges over the entrance to Disneyland, then have Sequoia Lodge, the Marvel Hotel in New York, and finally we have the Newport Bay Club. Now I do suggest the Newport Bay purely based on its affordability comparatively to New York and Disneyland. Sequoia Lodge is the cheapest, but is a little bit more outdated in terms of room renovation. So I'll send you a list of those hotels in my email. Then I do have the Berlin Hotel. This is the Titanic. So again, this is a beautiful luxury 5-star hotel with all of the beautiful amenities. It's in the central location to Berlin. All of these hotels, by the way, do allow pets. I don't know if you have a pet that you're wanting to take on your vacation with you, but they do have that. So then I booked this for 4 nights, which would come to £518 for the basic room. Of course, again, we have some upgrade options if you're interested. And then finally with Rome, I wasn't too sure about how long you were wanting to stay at Rome based on exactly where you're wanting to go, if you're just wanting to visit Rome itself, if you're wanting to go to Sicily or Venice. Completely up to you. So I thought that maybe that would be something we could discuss further in our emails. But just here, as you can see, this is the sort of price point that we're looking at for 4 nights. So they do range between £100 to £150 per night. So I definitely think that your price point is something that we can work with. What I will do is I will send you an email with more of a detailed breakdown on these hotels specifically, what different locations we have close to those hotels and discounts we can offer you based on city tours, admissions to different attractions such as the Disney discount, and then I guess we can see from there. Okay, wonderful. So it seems like we've got a really great plan going here. What I'll do now is I'll get that all into the system, and using the email that you've provided me, I'm going to send you a little bit more of a detailed itinerary plan and a budget breakdown for you. I'll have a little bit more research and I'll give you a more detailed breakdown of my suggestions into which order you visit different locations, just to give yourself the most optimized visit so that you spend your time the most wisely and you get the most out of your trip. Alright, okay, so it was wonderful sitting down with you today, and I should be with you in 2 to 3 days. Alright, have a pleasant rest of your day. Bye-bye now. And a special thank you to my ASMR Angels and Snoozing Sweethearts patron tiers: Loki Bird, Bultard, Ian, Cat M, Tomo, Spot Monkey 13, Shane C, Caleb Monroe, David Bacastow, Judah Adams, Danilo Kodani, Mont Benning, Mooted Drum, Ellie Walensky, Nick Passant, David Wilkinson, Jesse Ray, Fernando Augusto, David Tennant, Chris the Baptist, Denny, Esme, Owen Cook, DP, Paul B, Stephanie, Jay Jareth, Benji, Francisco, Ryan Craig, Joshua Gonzalez, Alex, Kevin, Toku and Thomas, DBK, Neon Kone ASMR, Brett Fountain, Catherine G, Takashi Lu, Solar Flack, and Sia Argentine.